Hi everyone, I'm Kaylee. It's nice to meet everyone virtually. We've got Abbie and Adam here, and we're starting to do some interviews with Abingdon United, some pre-match interviews to get some information, what's been going on during the lockdown. So I'm going to dive straight in with some questions for Adam, first of all. How has things been through the pandemic for the club? What's been going on? Have people still managed to get any training in?
So I guess if I'm honest, the two lockdowns, I'm going to say two because I don't really count the one in November, but the two lockdowns have been very different, and I'm sure Abbie might agree with that. The first lockdown, it was kind of brand new. Everybody, we come up with ideas, and we had different. You could do virtual training sessions, and the timing was slightly different as well. With the second lockdown, I think it was more the case that everybody had adjusted, so it was a bit more difficult in terms of trying to put virtual training sessions on because we didn't know if we were returning. That was the key thing from my point of view. The frustration was we didn't know what was going to happen, especially when it comes to the season and things like that. So, but the players, from my understanding, we've been back for 4 sessions now. The players have, looked extremely fit, in my opinion. So they've obviously been doing something over the lockdown individually. And I think every club's just done something different. Every player is suited to their own. I think it's going to be a very competitive comeback. But in terms of the club, we've had a lot going on behind the scenes. So in terms of myself, I've been pretty busy with club activity. Obviously, the introduction of these and other stuff that's going on behind the club. Every club in the country's faced difficulties over this time. We are probably coming out a little bit better than we thought we were going to come out. I'm not going to lie. Come the end of November, December time, we weren't even sure we were going to make it through the season. But now, now we're on the positive, and
that must be a big relief for everyone in the club.
It's a massive relief, and especially because there's just so much uncertainty across the globe, really. But so it was great to be back. I'm sure, I'm hoping that everybody's happy to be back, and I think the key thing is now is going forward is how we manage it. It's different to managing a season. Historically, I've always said, please make time. Please make sure you can attend matches, training, and all that kind of stuff. But now it's all about we're releasing from lockdown all at the same time. I want my players and coaches to spend time with their families where they possibly can, and things like that. So I think the hard work really is now. It's just that balance.
I was going to say, how do you feel? Obviously, moving forward now, you're getting back out on pitch and stuff. Like, is there COVID restrictions in place for you guys still? Like, we still got to be a little bit careful with things.
Yeah, so every club has to have a COVID officer and a COVID risk assessment, and we have a return to football policy. Now, I'm one of the COVID officers for the club, so I've naturally been frustrated by certain guidelines and naturally not been frustrated. We do have certain things like spectators aren't going to be allowed, I don't think now until May, because the 12th of April date's kind of gone. And I think after that, it's, it is just the sanitising your hands, the typical government guidelines that they've had, really, that they have to follow. But yeah, like I say, it's just good to be back playing.
Yeah, so the under-18s had their first game back last weekend, Saturday, against Summertown Stars under-18s, was it? How did that go for the girls? How was the match?
You could tell it was the first game back. There was a little bit of rustiness, not even necessarily in the match play, just everything leading up to the game. Even so, when we got there, we didn't know what pitch we were on because Summertown has several pitches. The warm-up was good, but they... it just felt a little bit out of sync in terms of all over, really. But in terms of the match itself, the match didn't look too rusty. Typically, it was one of those games, though, that I hate normally. It was a 1-1 draw, which probably wasn't expected, if I'm brutally honest. But I've never seen a game where I don't think the opposition got out of their first third, and we must have pouted about 40-odd shots at them and only scored 1. So that could be rustiness of shooting. There was a lot of opportunities that players in that team would normally be converting, but didn't. And naturally, Summertown had maybe 2 attempts on goal and scored 1 of them. So it's
getting back into the swing of it for everyone.
Exactly, that's the key thing, and I think everybody will say after that game, although it was frustrating, it was just good to be back. It was great for them to be back.
Yeah, and so Abbie, obviously the under-18s have a match again next Saturday, but you guys are back on pitch next Sunday against Oxford City. What are your feelings towards that? Are you excited to get back on pitch?
Yeah, I mean, what I'd said on the training basis of things. I mean, we've kind of got back 4 sessions, and the coach has been very, getting back to fitness, but also just making it fun as well, and getting back to swing of things, and just how to play football.
Yeah.
I know I personally haven't kicked a ball in the last 4 months. It's just that I haven't done that.
Yeah.
And I think most of the girls haven't either. So a great game to go back. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be hard work. I'm just really glad that we're at home, just because it's always nice when you have a home game, first game back. I mean, we've always had, it's always been really good games against Oxford City. There's loads of players available, everyone's up for it. So yeah, I think everyone's just really buzzing just to get back in that team spirit.
That was going to be my next question. What's team morale been like with getting back? Is it feeling good?
So through the second lockdown, me and Now, vice captain, we were very hot on getting Zoom calls, quizzes, messaging everybody, make sure they're okay. And it's really hard because people are obviously distracted, it kind of dies down a lot. And I think everyone was just getting so irritated of not getting back to football. So I think the morale has always been up. As a team, we've always got such a good morale as a team. But I think I always say to Adam, when we have a game on Sunday, the morale is just amazing throughout the whole week and then at training. So yeah, I couldn't ask for more from the girls. They've all come back, really ready to go. So hopefully we'll get a win and have a good start.
Yeah, definitely. That's brilliant. And do you think there's any particular challenges you're expecting on Sunday? Either of you?
I think, like everyone, I think it will literally just be fitness. I think it would just be keep going, getting that in that frame of mind, like get some minutes under the belt. And yeah, just everyone is working hard, doing their job. I just want everyone to really enjoy themselves. It's a cup game. Just everyone just to get back into it and just have a really good time. Just everyone's missed it so much. Just a bit of normality for everybody. So
yeah. And Adam, what about your point of view on that? Any predictions or any challenges you think girls are going to face on Sunday?
I think match fitness is the key one, as Abbie's already mentioned. I mean, you could spend 2 weeks prior to a match just running round fields and all of this kind of stuff, but there's nothing compares to the mental and physical exhaustion that a player goes through in a game. I think I'm actually even though there is that concern of watching the fitness, I'm actually quite confident in our fitness levels because we still got a big squad. I've got to drop players on Sunday, which I wasn't expecting for the first game back. We've had, two potential new players come to our training, which we're just waiting to see if they're going to be approved to sign on for this competition. So that, for me, I think the biggest point on that is, like I reflected on earlier, is that takes a bit of pressure off the players in terms of having a big squad going into these competitions. We'll be taking this cup seriously. We will be taking it seriously, but it does alleviate a bit of pressure that should they want to take time away, or if we're getting those niggling injuries, which we're going to, I expect Jeannie, our medical officer, is going to be very, very busy over the next couple of months, especially because she looks after the under-18s as well. There's going to be little niggles that there's going to be muscles hurting that players probably didn't even know they had before. But yeah, and like I say, we've got a strong squad available. I think the thing we've got in our advantage at the moment, and I know it's been a big break, but we were in good form. We were in very good form leading into the break. And regardless of how long the break is, we should maintain that confidence going into the next game. We've got a little, Oxford City beat us the last time we played them. They beat us 1-0 in a very, very strange game at the end of last season. So, they could argue that they're on the plus, but we've changed since then. They've changed since then. So who knows? But I think at the end of the day is if we're going to have a full complement of substitutes. It's still roll on, roll off in terms of how many players you can substitute. So for me, as I'll say on Sunday before the game, it's just about honesty. If the players are aching, let's utilise the substitution system and get them, let them have their rest periods here and there.
That sounds like it's going to be really important, getting back, like you said, with the fitness levels maybe being the most concerning point for the girls, obviously getting back into things after such a while. Maybe that's a really great thing then, that you've got the substitutes ready just in case. Like that sounds like a really good balance.
Exactly. And I think... Sorry, Abbie.
I was going to say as well, I know Adam and Biff have been really vocal about our recovery as well. They're making that a real, even though it is a cup and it obviously is, you're going to tire some legs out. I think our warm downs and what we're looking to do is going to really improve our recovery anyway. So hopefully it all kind of just ties into one for the next season. So we're doing like a couple of trial and error things of what works for us, what works for the coaches, how it can be managed. So hopefully all goes well. We should be in quite a good place, in a couple of weeks, that we haven't got so many niggles within the team.
Yeah, definitely. And was there any other squad updates that we needed before?
So I guess in terms of compared to the last time we were out, obviously the lockdown has meant some good news in terms of players like Beth Horton, Sadie Timms. They are pretty much fully recovered from their longer term injuries now. Obviously we'll monitor what they're doing. They're likely to be potentially in the squad on Sunday. Hopefully we have these two new players are allowed to play as well, so especially one of them who's not played for quite a while in terms of longer than the lockdown. So this cup competition is probably ideal for her because there's not too much pressure on her in terms of taking it forward. And the other one is a player that is of a very good talent, in my opinion, and will definitely add something to us. So like I say, I've got players I need to drop, unfortunately, which is never nice to do, but it's a nice predicament to be in. It's always better to have too many players. But at the end of the day, we've got Biff and I discuss regularly what our lineups are going to be, etc. And we just got to do what's right to get us the result on the day, as well as monitoring the fitness levels. So, for example, if players haven't been able to train for any unknown reason, then there's a chance that we think they won't be fit enough, for example. So, I think we'll be confident going in. And the fact that we're at home, as Abbie said as well, we know our pitch. I know that things like changing rooms and clubhouses are all shut on, especially on Sunday. But because we know that we're not going to be hanging around. We know all the little areas where the players will be able to congregate before the game, and it's just so much easier playing at home. There's a lot more organisation, as you'll find out yourself on Sunday, Kaylee. But it's just so much easier when you're playing at home because you're not hanging around waiting for certain things to happen.
Lovely, that sounds perfect, really. Definitely being at home rather than, especially for the first game back for the girls as well. So that's worked in your favour, definitely. Was there anything else moving into next week that you think's worth letting people know?
Not really, to be totally honest. Like I say, we've already mentioned on our social medias. Obviously, Kaylee will give you a proper introduction as well at some point over the next couple of days. So, but we're hoping to live stream our home games this year. It's going to be a bit difficult away, so we probably won't look at it away at the moment. So in terms of people that follow us, and we do have a good following, and I really appreciate the following that we do have. There is one squad update I forgot to say. Unfortunately, Heather Young has now decided to stop playing, which is quite sad because Heather Young was very much involved all the way from the beginning. Her dad was very, very much involved. I'm sure people already know that. So we're gutted that we have lost one, but I've been quite vocal on occasions that I think this lockdown was going to do that to clubs. There are going to be players that leave. There's going to be players that miss it and join. So obviously I send my best to Heather, and I'm sure Abbie does on behalf of the players, etc. as well. But in terms of a net profit, we're plus one player if we can get those two signed on. And then obviously the academy's launching as well, so there's going to be a lot of focus on that. I'm really passionate about trying to get a girls academy in, so I'm working very closely with the guys behind the scenes on that. But what I do encourage, if people are watching this, when they do watch it, please, if you're not doing anything Sunday afternoon, don't worry about the Premiership rubbish that's on the telly. Look out for our stream and get onto us, and at least we know that we've still got supporters out there, even if they can't attend.
I mean, I guess that's really important as well. That's the great thing about trying to do these live streams. At the moment, being unsure when spectators are going to be allowed back, we're giving the fans and the people that want to be involved an opportunity to still see what's going on. And I think that's brilliant. And hopefully people will tune in. And that's something everyone can look forward to next week. Well, the weekend coming.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, very excited for the weekend coming. Obviously, good luck to the girls back on pitch, both the under-18s and first team on Sunday. And it's been great chatting. So hopefully we will have a win on Sunday.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.